Well, hello, CR family. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ, and I'm in recovery for anxiety control and chronic pain. My name is Gary. This last March, I turned the big 65 years old. And in my 65 years, I've had many of opportunity and need to make amends in my life. And the thing that always gets, of course, in my way of making amends is me. It's pride. It's my hurt. It's my harm done to me. And so often I would turn things around into a counterattack for what had been done to me. And the offense that grew in my mind out of the injustice of what had been taken from me. The offense that grew and grew to where there was bitterness and there was resentment. And resentment would take up residence in my life at times to where it's kind of like the furniture in the room. You don't pay any attention to it anymore, and so it would be there in my life and really wouldn't be maybe that consciously even aware of it anymore as I carried that around. And there would be a tremendous blind spot, of course, in my life as to my own self-centeredness. And of course, that's what self-centeredness does. My insensitivities, my lack of awareness, my selfishness, my not responding in love, as far as putting other people first. But of course, the reality was there was plenty of offenses of my own making, not in response to anything, my hurtful behaviors. And yet I'd have to say there's been just tremendous changes in my life as I have worked the steps when it comes to making amends, and for humility and honesty to become the core of my life, the footing that gives me the courage to own my stuff, which is really what this is all about. So principle 6, evaluate all my relationships, offer forgiveness to those who have hurt me, and make amends for harm I've done to others, except when to do so would harm them or others. Happy are the merciful, Matthew 5:7. Happy are the peacemakers, Matthew 5:9. And then step 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Do to others as you would have them do to you, Luke 6:31. Do you want to be happy in life? Or do you want to be right? That's something I had to learn a long time ago. And so, if I want to be happy, it says be merciful, be forgiving. Do I want to be happy? It says to be a peacemaker, make amends. And so let's break this down a little bit as we think about principle 6. It starts out by saying evaluate. Evaluate my relationships. Where do I have fractured relationships? Where am I holding on to a grudge, to resentment, to bitterness? Who am I holding things against someone? Where am I keeping score? And then what have I done to others, and who have I harmed? It's evaluating all my relationships as to those two things. And so it is all because I want to have peace in my life, and to do so, I need to have all my relationships, as far as it depends upon me, to be at peace in those relationships. And because the goal here is peace of heart and mind, that's why it's all. And we can't compartmentalize and leave one or two rotting away my heart. And then it says list. So of course we list the people that we need to give forgiveness to and make amends to and ask for forgiveness. And we need to be specific about the people, and we need to be specific about the issue. So this is not a mental exercise. This is writing it down, being specific for me to be able to move forward. So then it talks about extending forgiveness. And it's not me being some benevolent one who comes now to offer forgiveness to you and point out for how you have wronged me and my graciousness to forgive you and that. Of course, that's not what it's talking about here. And the verbiage I kind of like is to say, I need to come and ask your forgiveness because I've been holding something against you. And many times people are going to be clueless to that. They're going to maybe have sensed some tension between you. There's been some kind of aloofness or barrier that they've been clueless to. But it's going and saying, I'm sorry that I allowed this to get between us, and it's just been wrong for me to hold that against you and allow that to be a barrier in our relationship. And will you forgive me of that? Then we need to think about, who do I make amends to? And here are 5 principles that I think are important when we go to make amends to hope to have that be an impactful and valuable experience for you and the other person. Number 1, take active steps to change the sinful behavior and patterns of behavior in your own life. This is why we don't make amends the 3rd week of our recovery, because we haven't changed yet. Changing is the foundation of going and making amends. That I really have done the hard work as to my character and the things that I've needed to change for that to be meaningful. Number 2, taking full responsibility for the sin I've done. And this is being specific as to the behaviors that I have done that have harmed that person that I'm making amends for. And so it's being very specific about that in the list of those things, as long as that list needs to be. 3, acknowledging the damage that I've done and demonstrating remorse by describing the impact and the implications to what I've done. So the first is what I've done, and the second really here is how that has impacted your life. And for me to be able to describe how that has hurt you and the pain that it has caused you and the implications for your life that it has had on you, and to again be asking forgiveness for that by acknowledging that. And then establishing new boundaries that demonstrate your commitment to be a different person moving forward, that you're going to respect them and how you are going to change. And hopefully they've seen that change already. And so there's credibility in asking that. And then number 5, making restitution. If there are practical things I need to do to pay back what I've taken from that person, monetarily, emotionally, mentally, relationally, whatever that would be, for God to give you wisdom in that and to be practical in making restitution. As I talk with marriage couples about how to have a successful marriage, I always talk about owning our stuff. We can't have a healthy relationship if I'm blame shifting or in denial or making excuses when it comes down to issues that I need to change. If each person owns their stuff, you'll have a healthy relationship. And that's all relationships. It's me owning my humanity, mistakes I make, things I do wrong. And as we will go on and see in step 10, promptly admitting that. And if you need a little more motivation emotionally to do this, just think about it, flip it, and go, what would it mean to me if someone came to me and sincerely and passionately made amends to me for something they had done to me that was hurtful and impactful? And what would it mean for me to someone to come and admit that and own that and make amends to me. Well, as you think about that, what it would mean to you, think about what it will mean to those you make amends to, as you consider that and the value that would be to them. Making amends, this whole process here is a journey. It's not really an event. It is an event, but again, it's moving forward, my commitment to those things. And oftentimes, people will come back, maybe still angry, maybe still wanting to address things with you. And your openness to that and your continuing ownership of that and your humility and honesty through that will be the foundation for true healing to take place. It's not about saying the right words. It's about really revealing a true change of heart that impacts and heals relationships, and that's a process. So this is making amends. This is how we ask forgiveness. This is owning our stuff. And this is the step that really brings us the healing that we're looking for in our lives moving forward. If we're willing to be honest and humble, to apply the things we've been learning and growing in the steps up until this time. So enjoy your open share groups and the discussion around these things, and I trust that it'll be very helpful to you to process this in your own life and move forward. God bless.